Travel and Tourism Board for Star Valley Ranch to order. It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. I'm ready. Just a couple of points of order. I've been ill for the last 3 weeks and I'm now more or less recovered, but I apologize for my sort of scattered email frenzy that I sent out on a couple of occasions. It was mostly because I only had one working brain cell. I wasn't working very well. Second thing is my computer is on the fritz and I do not have the minutes done for last meeting. I'll get them done. My computer's supposed to be repaired tomorrow, so I'll get them done quickly and I'll have them for the next meeting. Any other administrative matters before we move on? I would like approval of the meeting agenda. I'd like to add one item. Kirsten Merrill from the town council called me the other day and would like some time on the meeting this afternoon to talk a little bit about the upcoming summer and the ranch rendezvous. So we could add that to the agenda under new business. I'll call on her when she gets here.
Have 2 items. New business
Okay,
to do with
go ahead.
a town ambassador program. The second one will be other business as necessary, and it ties into legislatively what's happening with regards to funding EMS in other areas of the country and how it impacts tourist budgets.
Okay, you want that under other business?
Because it's a legislative thing, I think it's probably more of something for us to do research in order to blow up to the town council and anybody who represents us at the county level and ultimately affect how the state of Wyoming actually uses the lodging tax funds.
Okay, thanks,
They
Barb.
can talk about changing it.
And what's the other thing?
The first one was new business, and that would be a town ambassador program for our tourism stuff to support events and stuff that are happening, to wear the merchandise that we're going to create, and just get people out there, maybe in the rewarding potential merch way,
Okay,
spur more volunteerism that way.
okay, we'll put it under C.
Sure.
Okay. All righty.
I would move we approve the agenda as modified.
Thank you. Second? Second. You have a second? All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Good enough. Okay, old business. We'll want to, who's here from the Wall That Heals? Great, thank you, guys. I don't have enough room at the table for you, so maybe you can speak from there. First item under old business is review, discussion, recommendations regarding grant application for the Wall That Heals. You may recall this from our meeting in January. I think it was Lisa Grimsley had a presentation for us, and they have now submitted a formal grant application. I emailed it to everybody, I think, in my delirium. And so you should have all that. It was a very comprehensive, application, and we appreciate that. And do you guys want to lead off by just telling us a little bit, reminding us a little bit about the event? And Lisa talked to us in January, so maybe what's been happening since and where we are with the event. And my recollection is that you've asked for $12,000, is that correct? Okay. All right, I'll turn the floor over.
Girls first, I guess?
Girls first.
All right, well, I'll skip, because I think this is a pretty prideful moment. So, Thank you for having us and inviting us back to this meeting. My name is Lisa Grimsley. I am one of the 2 chairs that is hosting the Wall That Heals that will be in Afton in July 9th to the 12th. Normally, I'm also the town tourism director, so I'm very well aware of how lodging tax works. This is a very, very unique event. It's never been in western Wyoming. It was in Wyoming in 2008 or 9 in eastern Wyoming. We named our committee Wyoming Welcomes the Wall That Heals for a very good reason, because Wyoming is welcoming the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall. And a benefit for Afton is a benefit for our community. We are anticipating about 10,000 people that will be coming to visit the wall in the 4 days that it is on display. It's on display 24/7 and it's free of charge. It's open to the public. We have a tremendous amount, 500 plus volunteers that'll be coming, and it will be staged at, I know I'm, yeah, KJ's. Don't ever change your name in the valley. So it'll be at that gas station an hour before it leaves there. It'll stay there, and then it'll be escorted by about 700 motorcycles on the way to Afton. It has to drive no more than, or no less than 10 miles under the speed limit. So it's going to be escorted in the just most grand way. And so we're involving all of the communities along the way. It's coming to us from Billings, Montana. Yep. So one of the rules is it can't be it has to be within an hour where all the motorcycles meet, within an hour of your final destination. So that's going to be happening on Tuesday, July 7th. And then it will be in a mobile education trailer. And then we're asking the entire community from the state line all the way down to Afton to line the highways, line their yards, and just, I mean, obviously it's our nation's anniversary as well and birthday. So patriotism is front of mind for everybody. So we're just asking people to participate in this. We have reserved a tremendous amount of rooms throughout the valley to accommodate the people that are going to be coming in. We have confirmation that our governor is going to be doing our opening ceremony, and our Wyoming Office of Tourism is coming too. I was speaking to them this morning, and we are going to be doing some flyovers on the closing ceremony. So we are really trying to, this event is tethering our entire valley and hopefully part of our state too. We have made numerous trips to Cheyenne presenting. I was just at the governor's conference. There wasn't one person there that didn't know about this. So that's why we're back to present. We've gotten our ducks in a row, probably a little bit more so. We have a huge spend it costs a lot of money. To do something well, costs a lot of money. Just doesn't matter what you're doing. And this thing costs a lot of money. So, but it also touches every single demographic within our community. There really isn't a group or a person. And the only way I can say it is if you don't believe in this, then you probably just don't have red blood. So we're just here to ask. Yeah, red, white, blue. That would be awesome. So I've had the very unique privilege of working with Jay, who is the senior vice commander at the Afton VFW. They're the ones that put in the application to get this. We were notified at the end of November that we got it, and it has been game on since that moment. And it has been literally a parade of some of the best people I've ever had the privilege of working with, and that have come in and stepped up to be the volunteers and chairs for the various committees that we've had. So Jay and I kind of delegated that to these people, and they've done a phenomenal job. So as much as I want to take credit for all the good things, I'm not going to. Bud Scheller is our fundraising chair and has risen to the occasion and came in and submitted the application for the funding for this. So that's why we're, a team of 3.
Great, thank you very much, Lisa, I appreciate it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I've got an audience, I have to talk.
All right.
As Lisa said, I'm Bud Scheller, I live in Alpine, I'm a transplant from New Hampshire. I was in that tropical paradise in 1966, 67, so this is pretty meaningful to me.
New Hampshire or Vietnam?
Both. New Hampshire's not quite tropical. I just saw on the internet yesterday, one of the ski areas near us had 32 feet of snow this year. So that wasn't Jackson.
Now we know where it went.
Yeah, it wasn't one in my yard, that's for sure. Anyway, just to expand a little bit on what Lisa said, I did a little digging, and if you were to create a radius from Afton to Rock Springs and had a compass and just spun that thing all the way around, Pocatello, Riverton, Lander, as far north as you can get before you get into Yellowstone, there's 123 people that lived within that circle.
123,000.
Names are on that wall of the 58,000 plus. So it touches a whole lot more than just between Afton and Alpine or Kimmer. It touches our southwestern Wyoming region, eastern Utah, Idaho, I'm sorry. I will be going to all those areas and communities personally, trying to dig up help. As Lisa touched on, it's a very expensive proposition. It's just $12,000 just to get the wall to come to us, but then behind the scene expenses of insurance, website, logistics, you name it, on and on and on and on. So it's pretty significant. So yeah, we're going to be looking for a lot of help, and there's no such thing as a donation too small. I had a lady that had a very small business outline. Her husband was a Brown Water Navy in Vietnam, and she's not rich, but she gives $100. That's pretty touching, I think. There are people who've never been to the wall in D.C., kids whose dad were on that wall that they never met. So hopefully there are some that we're helping bring closure. We're bringing the wall to them.
Great.
So anything you folks can do,
Thank you
it's
very
going to be
much.
put to good use, and it's going to be done right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jay Connolly, I'm the other co-chair with Lisa. I just wanted to add.
Jay was here at the previous meeting, is that
Yes,
so?
sir. Yes, sir. So the 58,281 heroes that are on that wall, 8 of them are women. Obviously, they didn't get a hero's welcome, right? And neither did their brothers and sisters in arms when they came home. As a combat veteran myself, coming home from Saudi Arabia, Iraq, I got a hero's welcome, even though I don't feel like a hero. It really makes a difference. So to be able to turn the tide for these ladies and gentlemen and their families, to give them this hero's welcome, that's the intent of this, right? So we're creating this great big noise, right, to create this event that we want everybody to come and be calm and quiet and heal. And that's the whole idea. It's the wall that heals for a reason, and we want to honor those 58,281 names that are on the wall, as well as the 2 million that have died of their service-related injuries, whatever the case may be, since then. So I think it's just a big idea, and I just want you all to know too that we are also doing our own fundraising opportunities. Every opportunity that we get to be in front of somebody or in front of a crowd that is the appropriate crowd, we're there. We have over 14 different places that we're going to be able to raise funds this year. Those are nowhere near the asks that we've asked you. Those are adding little bits at a time. So we rely on everything that we've asked for, and we just would be honored that you take a look at the number and see that it adds value, and we'd be honored with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Turn it back to the board for discussion recommendations.
2 questions.
Yes,
First one is for Lisa, based on writing the grant application and knowing how the lodging tax uses are limited by statute. Would you put any donation by the town of Star Valley Ranch into the promotional use bin? Because I don't see anything in here having to do with security, EMS, porta potties, anything that looks like mitigation.
Yes, I absolutely would. We have a tremendous opportunity to do some branding and advertising and promotions, and we'd be happy to put any logo on there. It would be on our website. We had a meeting 2 weeks, a week or 2 ago, with the VVMF, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Everything we do, every step we make, every decision that is made, we have to get their stamp of approval. And they've kind of redirected us in a couple different ways. And promotions is one of the things that we have to be very careful on how we promote the wall and their logo and their brand. But we have full authority to promote those that support us. And we have included in that was our sponsorship flyer, and it included like the breakdown for the costs and what was, what you would receive out of that. Obviously, that is not aimed towards a tourism board. That particular flyer was aimed more towards businesses and the local community on a private level. But absolutely, we would get your logo on absolutely everything. While it is at the wall, it's at the Star Valley Middle School. It is a very serene environment, and there won't be any signage real close to the wall. So any banners and that will not be there. But all along, like the fence and on our website and everything, we want to have a partnership with this. This is ownership that you would be taking. If you're putting your thumbprint on it, we'll make it shine.
so from your work in Afton, you're familiar with limitations on what tourism money can be used for.
The filters for
And
funding.
and you'll make sure that whatever grant funding we provide is pigeonholed appropriately.
That's my job.
Is that okay?
That's what
Got
I
that.
Just to add to that real quickly as well, when you leave the parking lot to enter the wall, we'll have restricted access that'll funnel you through our sponsorship board that we'll have on each side. So everybody that donates the amount of money that we've requested according to our sponsorship, you will have high-vis logo right as you walk in and right as you walk out, as well as the internet like we're talking about. So you're going to be high-vis on everything we do.
Okay.
You might add, it's one way in, it's a chain link fence all the way around this, the football field down there, so there's one gate, and that's where everybody's gonna come and go from.
That leads me to my second question. Aside from the money, are you hoping for volunteer representatives for all the communities along the path here in the valley? Do you execute?
Yes, we are expecting, they told us about 200 volunteers are needed. We kind of broke that down a little bit, and we're anticipating about 500 volunteers. They're 4-hour shifts. They're putting our little community in with like Los Angeles. And so they're big picturing it because they're city people. So we have kind of broken it down to just take a better look at our demographic and our population and working families. We were told from meeting number 1 with the VVMF people that do not turn a volunteer down. So find an opportunity for them. And we have Tracy Martini out of Alpine. She is the Women's Auxiliary, or involved with the Women's Auxiliary. She and Allison Rainey are our 2 chairs for the volunteer committee, and they're killing
Do you
Those
know,
are two people you want on your payroll.
do you know what the duties of the volunteers would be? Like what's expected of them?
It kind of depends on
Hours.
what day they're gonna be volunteering. Because we have certain, like we have to have chairs out for the opening ceremony. So sometimes they might have to just be moving chairs. Sometimes they'll be greeting guests. We have like VIP parking for our veterans and other like local dignitaries, I guess. So they would be just directing traffic. They would also be helping, get name rubbings off the wall. The wall is 375 feet long, so it's a football field. It's in a very impressive, it's a 3/4 replica of the wall that's in Washington DC. So they are there to help count the people, they're help answer questions, and answer any questions like we have the mobile education center. The VVMF staff will be there to conduct the tours. They're every hour. And there's a tremendous amount to putting the wall up, taking it down. We want to have the best customer experience. So, and I will toot our own horn a little bit. I'm so proud of our team. When we met with the VVMF the other day, and she's like, what about this and what about that? And I'm like, done. She goes, you know what, you guys have submitted your stuff months in advance and you're so far ahead and we're not worried about you guys. So that was, everybody wants to play on a winning team, and I believe that we're providing a winning experience. And it's because of all the group of people that have volunteered and helped. So there won't be an opportunity for somebody to get turned down.
I had a husband and wife contact me the other day, and the wife is gonna help me with fundraising. The husband has broken bones in his feet, and he's pretty much laid up, but they want to help, So we can find a place for a man in a wheelchair. We're gonna be there 24 hours a day. There's gonna be people needed at night, just to hold flashlights, you know what I mean? So it's a job for everybody, and Tracy is amazing at finding the grooves and notches that anybody will fit into. She has a big long list she's compiling, and we can certainly put her in touch with her, but she blows my mind.
And if you have an interest as far as the volunteers, our website is up and running and our Sign Up Genius is going for that situation. And she has it broken down very, very detailed on that website for options to sign up for different roles. So if you're really interested, you can take a look at that. She's fantastic and she's done a phenomenal job.
Okay. All right, did I get your questions answered?
And this is why I added that new business topic.
I will just add one thing. If there's people in the room that have had people, their family or friends that have lost their life, we have an in-memory program, or the BVMF does, and those applications are due to them by June 9th. And they can be found on the BVMF website as well as ours. And they will be recognized as the wall travels throughout the country.
Okay.
So,
Any other discussion with the board, Vince?
No, I think
Would you guys like to make a recommendation?
What's our annual spend for this in general?
Well, basically, the income is 25 grand. Well, the year before it was 20. 25 is what we anticipate this year. So again, if you're gonna use it all, that's your limit.
So, we have some money, we've been accumulating money for more than, almost 3 years now, I guess.
It'll be the third year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been accumulating money. We haven't spent very much. This is by far the largest grant application we've had in front of us. But
That's a
you'll
very
notice,
expensive banner.
yeah, you'll notice from the other agenda items, we have another a fairly expensive grant application to deal with today as well, which is why I walked in wanting to know how much money we had. We need to be, my hope is that we will use our money prudently. To me, this is an outstanding opportunity for us to use these funds, and it's my hope that we will recommend to the council that we do so. That said, we'll have other commitments this year. It's relatively early in the year. We have Friends of the Bridger Teton in today, and we have potentially other potential commitments as the year goes along. We've got the ranch market. But I think we've got plenty of money.
We have about 45, is it, that we've accumulated?
I don't know what the first year was,
Mhm.
and we can't seem to pull it up, but we can get those numbers to you. I know what last year was, it was about 20K of income.
Right,
I
yeah.
just don't know what you spent last year. And
We
again,
didn't
it's
spend
on my
very-
laptop.
Didn't
I
spend
should-
much.
We didn't
Eight
spend
for
very
the-
much.
No, you
maybe,
didn't.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, you
Yeah.
probably had, because you had Friends of
Yeah.
Brother Teton and a couple other little things.
At the
Right.
They
ranch
didn't,
market.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was maybe,
10
yeah, so you
Conservative.
probably still have about 9 from, but I
Yeah.
don't know what was the
Plus
carryover
the
from the year
28.
before.
It's 25.
Yeah.
And this
Others-
year, you haven't spent.
Others, subtlety to remember, most of the Friends of Bridger Teton spend last year was actually in mitigation, of which this would not be. This is promotion.
But it's all in the same cash account.
Mhm.
Right.
You can't
But
You
it's
can't drive it
it's
to
a
zero.
60. Correct, but it's a 60-30-10
Yes, yep,
statute spend.
you're correct.
So we can fund for it. I
Okay.
think we should recommend.
So I will look for a motion. Whatever you
Can I
guys
just ask
want.
a couple questions real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
Are there different tiers of sponsorship here? And at what level is the $12,000 donation?
I did not bring this. I hope I brought that form with me. I got about 10 different ones.
For what it's worth, I think this is a beautiful idea, by the way, and I'm really excited to be a part of this. I just want to
Yeah,
flesh out the
there are.
questions.
Yeah, Absolutely.
The application is
And
pretty
different
specific
levels of
about,
recognition.
sorry?
And different levels of recognition that goes with each one of those tiers,
Yeah.
obviously.
We have red, white, and blue tiers, that's how we did it. And the smallest amount was 500, and that's the friends and family. And the largest amount went up to 5,000,
Yeah.
and then 25 and 1,000. Those are the tiers that we presented to the local community and businesses. A tourism board is completely different, and I know they operate differently, they be recognized differently. They would almost be like a VIP, because it's obviously outside, and twice as much is what we would anticipate in the ask for any local business. So, and by local, I mean the entire state of Wyoming has been coveted for the ask. So the tourism boards are a little bit different in that capacity, and that's why the ask is a little bit higher.
That's it? Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
Moved
Move to do what?
to move this forward to the council
Do
for
you want to
approval.
fund it at full ask?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor to fund this application from the Wall That Heals at $12,000. Any comments, questions?
So that'd be about half of your annual budget.
Our annual budget, but
Yeah.
we do have some money.
Reserve.
We
I
do
know,
have
that's
some
what
money.
I'm saying, just think of it as replenishing that, percent-wise.
That's what was proposed at the last meeting was 12,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, any questions?
This is, it's weird, I think, because it's, I think we're all aligned on this being a beautiful project and very cool and mildly promoting Star Valley Ranch, but I don't really know if it falls into the category of the grant application. It can be, I think it's gray enough that it could be, that we can get away with this. I just want to
make sure we're covered.
articulate that that's
Yeah.
half-
Well, there will be
that's
a
half the
lot of
budget.
people coming here. So that's bringing people in
Right.
without the
I mean,
that's-
your sales and use tax would hopefully
Sure.
reflect an uptick, and your fifth penny.
I'm assuming that
They're not coming here.
if as many people, well,
But we
if
still
as many
can't
people
have it
come to
all.
the valley
You gotta
as
have come
projected,
through.
we will have probably maximum,
20,000.
we'll have maximum home rentals
But we're not the tourism board of the valley, we're the
No.
tourism board of this
Right.
right
Yeah.
here. So I just want to
Point of
make sure
order.
that we're on the same page on this.
Big
Your
sign.
discussion, but you don't have a second yet.
Didn't I get a second from Deb? No, Deb can't.
You're
get
gonna
a second, she's an alternate.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Did I not get a
No,
second?
no, not yet, we're just discussing.
Okay, I've got a motion. I do need a second.
Robert's rules, I love it. I'll second.
All right. Second from Tyler. Now we can discuss.
Let's see a minute.
Sorry. I was looking at Deb.
And
She has to be quiet. She hates
I
that.
hate that. You know, I gotta get me a vote.
Anything else, anybody, for the good of the application?
I'd love to find a way to promote us without stepping on toes and making it about us, because this is clearly not about us, this is about something very different. I think that's probably what Barb was alluding to with this new business category, so maybe we just hold off until that. But
I think we have an opportunity to dial it up if we were to use the new business thing as a vehicle to get more exposure.
let's get some swag, let's get some gear.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 I'm gonna need to do a procedural abstention because I have a vote at another
I
level.
understand. So all we are doing is making a recommendation to the town council that they fund the grant in the requested amount. I will do a memo and forward it to the town council. They will discuss it at their meeting on Tuesday.
April 14th.
It's the second Tuesday in April, whatever that day is.
14th.
14th.
Yeah, it'll be the second Tuesday in April. The council will make a final decision at that time, but this is a advisory board we make recommendations to the council.
And Frank, will you attend that meeting so that if we have some questions,
I will,
okay.
maybe.
Or somebody from the,
I'll be there.
okay.
We'd be honored to be there as well if you'd like us to.
That would be fine. It's an open and public meeting, so
Yeah.
feel free to come. You don't have to,
7 o'clock on the 14th.
yeah. And you can watch local papers for the notice of the meeting and the agenda.
And I'll make sure Jamie puts that as an agenda item.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Typically, I do that in my,
Yeah, but again, let's have,
typically I do that in my memo to the board.
okay, do you, okay, great.
All right. You guys are halfway there.
Thank you.
Thank you, it's truly appreciated. It'll be
Thanks
good.
much.
Put to good use.
Means a lot.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Next item.
Thank you.
Barb, this is sort of your area, but I wanted to continue the discussion, at least for a few minutes, about branding efforts. I've attended a couple of meetings in the last few weeks at the county level, done by the County Tourism Board out of Kimmer, where county branding has been the primary topic of communications. And the idea behind these county meetings is to promote tourism in Lincoln County by doing some things to market the county through branding, through surveying, and the county's actually hired a marketing company to help them with recommendations for the county commissioners. The marketing company is sort of in the stage of creating some final recommendations. I don't know where this is going with the county. It seems to have a lot of input from Afton, Kemmer, and Alpine. Not so much from some of the smaller communities in the county, but it does seem to have some legs. And that's really about all I know. I'll continue to go to the meetings. Well, most of them are Zoom meetings, but I don't have to go very far.
Question, there was a article in the Star Valley Independent 2 or 3 weeks ago
Yeah.
that talked about that program, and it specifically stated that the towns would have coins or whatever.
It's one
Is
of
that
them.
what is that actually gonna go ahead, or is that,
It seems to have some legs, but the marketing company is still making recommendations, but certainly coins, that type of branding, what they haven't decided on is what the brand looks like. And so they've talked about a lot of things that it could be on, but I don't know that a final decision has been reached on the branding. And we were talking about, at our last meeting, about doing some branding internally.
but, I mean, so the bottom line, we can ignore the design of a coin for the town of Star Valley, at least for a little while?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's essentially what I know. The meetings are ongoing. They have a couple of meetings every month. And I don't know where this is going, but it seems to be growing some legs.
Any consensus that came out of either the survey that they took preceding that meeting or at the meeting, or we're still throwing spaghetti against the wall?
I think they're still throwing things against the wall. I haven't heard any strong consensus, other than they want to do it. Part of the problem is they're having a hard time identifying their audience. Who are they doing it for? There's this notion that we want to get away from being someplace you stop on the way to Yellowstone or on the way to Jackson Hole. One of the things that's growing is sort of a marketing effort that might steal some people from the high costs of staying in Jackson and moving down here, recognizing that it's only an hour's drive back up there, and that you can save $500 a night on a hotel room by staying here and doing the drive. That's gaining some momentum as a potential target for marketing. So that's one of the things the marketing company is doing. So beyond that, I don't know much, but it's ongoing. Anything else on that right now? Okay. New business.
Take over me.
What?
And take over with my part of it? Because I have a timeline that I'm trying to work with here.
Okay.
Based on the merchandise conversations that we've had, that we could offer to our residents primarily to be our own promotional ambassadors, for lack of a better term right now. Cast a lot of stuff out there within our group graphically, just so you can get an idea what we're kind of converging on. My guess is, in order for any kind of merchandise to have biggest impact for 2026 and for the 250-year anniversary of the United States, and for the town's still 20th anniversary, and the fact that we've got most of the residents on the ranch in the summertime, is that we would want to have merchandise available this summer. It would be, based on the current timeline and approvals by the town council, pretty hard to get anything out there for purchase or giveaway before the May timeframe, just based on the lead time that we focus on hats. I still think it's a wise thing to shoot for May. So my proposal to this group is, based on the graphics that we've bounced around so far, that me and a couple other folks of this team, like I'm looking at Deb here, or whoever else is interested, kind of flesh it out a little more with cost or whatever, and get a going-in proposal ready for the town council to look at their next April meeting. And in that, I call it approach to the council, I would be hoping to like look for some kind of a tentatively approved funding ceiling of, I don't know, $20,000 or whatever. Knowing that we still have to talk about, are they giveaway promotions? Are they, 50% purchase offset for, replenishing our funds or whatever the balance is? There's a lot of downstream decisions at the town council level that are out of the control of actually converging on what might be a logo that we put on some merchandise. So, if we can get the logo developed enough so we can say, yeah, the town council is comfortable enough with us proceeding to put something in there into, the marketplace for our residents, it's like, then we have something to work with. But right now, I could spin on designs, and a committee could spin on designs forever. So if the proposal was to look at hats first, because they're super popular, we would get to test the logo and then maybe just, what the skids for more stuff to come. Because there's a lot of opportunity out there in the summertime. There's the ranch markets. There's, if we had exposure booths at some of these events that represented the town, we could sell merchandise or whatever it is, right? We should be doing outreach into the valley when tourists are there. So it's like, I think there is a chance to couple outreach into the valley, selling the town, as well as making promo merchandise available.
Well,
So,
recall that I went to the town council meeting in maybe February. I think it was the February meeting. And sort of talked a little bit about some localized branding with the council, and they were, I think, pretty supportive of doing something. I think what they're looking for are some options to choose from, and start small and expand as we go along.
and that's consistent with what I'm thinking. So I do know at the last, I believe it was the last town council meeting or workshop, I can't remember which one I watched, but we actually shared that one of the last logos there in the meeting said he was going to pass it to the rest of the council. So even though we've been pushing a lot of ideas back and forth within our group, some of it has escaped for wider preview. So we're not actually in a vacuum anymore. I really haven't got a lot of feedback back or pushback at anything. So I think what I'm hoping for is something to push to the town council at the next meeting that gets us some feedback that we can, so that we can set up a timeline to execute on, because we're not even there yet.
If I can add to that, one request would be, give us kind of your idea on what a budget would look like of spending for those items. Again, the logo is important, I've already seen it, and everybody on the town council has seen it, so very positive, the choices that are there. But again, how much of this merchandise would we go out and buy? What's
Like the
the,
startup cost.
There's
Yeah, what is it?
economies of scales, breakpoints for each item.
right, and so what does this
What would
committee
be-
think that
Yeah.
looks like? Is it, $3,000, is it five? What?
Yeah.
And ballpark it right here. So if, part of this has to do with how the town council actually wants to make it available. Do you make it available to residents as a giveaway? Do you make it available to property owners? If our vision is that we're gonna use our own people as our promotional arm this summer, rather than selling it to tourists, we have a different approach to actually executing this than others. So I'd say your top number of items is, let's say if we went with hats, you have 2,000-ish hats. If you go promo, which is lower quality, they're roughly industry embroidered hats, $6 a piece, plus or minus.
Okay.
If you up the quality a little, the standard quality like a residents would want, it's closer to $9. If you go a premium one, it's 10 plus, depending on how much stuff you put on there. So if I said to the town council that we would like to go with hats, this is our logo, this is kind of what we're looking at, and I think that we should be prepared to spend, in order to make it happen, the number of hats, $25,000. And that might be overshooting it, but that just gives you a ceiling to work with, and then come back and lower. Then, for the council, it's just how do these get distributed, and is there a cost share, or is this a full-on giveaway? Of which that's kind of, we can make recommendations, of the different
Please.
scenarios, which they go out, but that's up to you guys.
The more you provide as a option, the easier it'll be. I'm just telling you, you have 3 council members here today, so I believe I speak for all 3 of us. Make it easy, and it'll be easier to get approval.
My recommendation here is to the team that we take a look at in the next week, whatever, pulling together that cheat sheet of options and what we're looking at to give to the board so that we've got a good starting dialogue in order to,
Okay,
Great.
that works the way.
for the
April
For the
4th.
specifics in that idea, we can pass it electronically to the point where we're okay releasing it. I just wanted to make sure we covered the breadth of the conversation here, so we're all on the same page.
Okay.
So can we have that ready to go for that April 14th meeting to present? Yeah, right?
Are you looking at me?
I'm looking at her.
Okay, good.
She's the one that has all the stuff.
Yeah, I think we got
Yeah, can we shoot for that? I think that would make the most sense, get it going.
It'll need to be ready a few days before.
Well, okay, get it
Just-
ready tomorrow.
Just to
From
get
an
it- just to get it
information
on the
standpoint,
agenda.
Probably 85% of the way there right now.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Because we want to make sure we get it, if we're going to do merchandise,
We gotta
let's
do
be
it.
ready for the summer.
Exactly.
And it's already summer outside, so we're already.
Exactly.
Yeah, we missed that.
66 degrees, Barb.
Okay, anything else? I'm sorry.
I'm playing catch up here because I missed the last meeting. Just, is there a reason that we're creating a new logo instead of just utilizing the town logo?
It's too,
Two different
Busy
entities.
for us.
Yeah.
Well, that's an issue we should figure out at a town council meeting. in
you want
general,
a,
but-
you want a logo that's
That was
simple.
kind of talking
And if you look at our logo, there's a lot going on with that.
It's too much.
That's
It's
the
so
problem.
much.
So you want a simple.
That's really expensive to recreate that compared to something simpler, which is what Barb came up with.
Okay.
Kirsten?
That was, I think, one main motivation, to just simplify it.
And not to misconstrue the use of a logo as official town
I'm
presentation.
I'm
right?
losing control.
That's
Kirsten?
I mentioned it to Wade, but it was a while back in email, so I don't know if you recall. I had mentioned that we may need to put Town of Star Valley Ranch. The logos were great, by the way, all of them were awesome, but I didn't know if we need to actually put Town of instead of, just
Star
because,
Valley Ranch.
Or
yeah.
do you just, can you just use Star Valley Ranch?
Yeah,
that's
There's
what
only
she's
one
asking.
Star Valley Ranch, so that's what I was
agree.
thinking,
I
right?
think it's just with the association and then the way that we have our actual logo. I just didn't know if it would be more pointed
Yeah,
toward
you've
our
got the
actual town.
association, that's
To
That was
clarify,
the
but
whole thing there.
it was just a suggestion, I wasn't even.
cross.
Yeah.
I know it makes it very wordy too,
But-
so.
Do we have to do Star Valley Ranch, Wyoming?
No,
Okay.
There's
'cause
other
there
Star
is
Valley
another Star
ranches.
Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
we
In
ran
other
into that in
states.
Park City,
Right.
there are lots of Park City.
Like Syracuse, you see shirts all the time that say
Yeah, I mean,
Syracuse, well, there's multiple
As long as
Syracuses
nobody
everywhere.
comes.
You can use the area code, the 307.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll
Anyways,
pull
simple,
up some
simple
options,
stuff.
that's back to what Kristen asked, is like, we actually discussed this at the last meeting, that it really complicates the logo design when we add town of.
Yeah.
So
It's just, yeah.
if we don't have to do it, it gives us much more flexibility.
And every letter, as I recall doing designs in my past life, every letter counts, you know, costs more, right? So the simpler, the cheaper, the more return on if we charge, which I would suggest $20 a hat is really average. Don't you think?
No, they do
Or
it
more.
here, to sell, retail.
To sell, if you just sell
20.
these
I
hats.
walked into Alpine and got one free.
Oh,
There's that.
okay.
I got an Alpine hat, I'm just telling you, if you're a resident, anyway.
They're not still doing that though. are
Okay,
they?
guys, I want to move on.
I'd buy
Yeah.
$10.
One other question, every time you'd mentioned, Barbara, on the cost of what you wanted, it broke up somehow on what I was listening. Did you say 15,000 or 20,000? 20,000, 25.
She said
That's
25 is
And
what she
that's
said.
a lot of hats.
I'm guessing that that's what we're gonna be.
We gotta
seeing.
look at that in our
Yeah,
budget.
we don't have that kind of
We don't
money,
have
so.
that
But
money.
if we sell them, we get the return.
That's,
However,
That's
you-
100% return.
Less is more maybe to start?
Yeah,
Scarcity breeds demand. I don't think 2,000 hats, we're gonna sit on 1,500 hats.
Yeah, I think that's too many
Realistically.
Yeah.
personally.
Loretta, this is a
Drop that in.
cold question coming at you. How many pins did we end up buying? Do you have any idea?
We ordered them, I'm not sure how many.
Was it
in total.
500?
Yeah,
I
something
think
like
so.
that. We still have
We have a lot.
Yeah.
400 down there.
Yeah, so,
That's kind of, I'm getting to,
Not promoted.
what is the,
granted.
I think for a first run, maybe we go a little bit less,
Somebody would get.
sell out completely, and then we maybe buy more for next year.
yeah, but you gotta take into consideration set up
Okay,
costs and
Yeah,
quantity.
yeah. There you go, that's the way to do
order
it. Get a pin and a hat.
and add that.
Okay, we're moving.
All right,
Put a pin on it.
moving on, I need to make an announcement that I have a quorum of the town council here today. They are here in different capacities, and they are not making decisions, so, but there is a quorum of town council members present. This is an open and public meeting, so it's not an issue, but I do like to have it on the record. Thank you for being there.
Excuse me, just one second. Is that supposed to be pause, recording pause all this time?
I don't know,
Okay.
she's fine, as
Just,
long as we can see her and she's moving.
no, but I mean for the.
Yeah, good.
Oh, look.
That it's not recording.
I don't know, she set it up and I don't.
Keep going, I'll see if I
All
can.
right. New business, please. Review, discussion, and recommendations regarding a grant application for the Star Valley Ranch Ambassadors for
progress.
responsible recreation. And that grant application is provided by the Friends of the Bridger Teton Forest. And we have Jennifer, and I'm sorry, I can't remember your name.
Oh gosh, no
And
worries.
she's gonna come on up too, so she
I'm
can
Corley
say
Eidinger.
hi.
That's right. What have you got, Jennifer?
I am handing you all the official grant application, which you should have already gotten a copy. I think Frank sent it out or someone did, but also our, thank you, our impact reports. So one of them will say ambassador report, which there is a wonderful shout out to the Star Valley Ranch. And for your funding from last year, here you go.
Jamie, this says to stop
It's
again.
okay, because we're recording on the computer.
Yeah, this one's recording, that one says pause.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, none of us.
I just wanted to make sure.
Don't touch anything.
Who's up first?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Come on up, girlfriend. Normally there's a fancy podium for us to stand at.
So this, as you can see, is
You want me to get it for you?
as you can see, this grant application is a little bit different from from the application submitted by the Friends of Bridger Teton last year. It's different in a couple of ways. It's expanded a little bit, and it also, I think, focuses more on this end of the valley, which was one of our sort of complaints about the grant application last year. The nice thing about last year is it was a good learning experience. And some things have been tossed out of last year's program, and some new things have been included in this year's program. So, with that in mind, Jennifer, briefly, tell us what's going on.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank you again, board members and council members, and the mayor, who I'm sure is watching. Thank you for allowing us to come in front of you again. And just so you know, when you're looking at this application, which I had left a note for Frank, the fillable application on your website does not allow you in the paragraph sections to actually fill them in. So I have a second sheet here that has the most important information I think you'll need on it. And the third page is our budget breakdown of what we're asking for, which would be helpful if you're just listening to words walk over your head right now for you to read, if you haven't already. Thank you. I'm very happy to say last year we spent about $4,200 of the reimbursable grant, of which you had granted us $8,000 approximately. These are all just approximate. There are extra numbers at the end, but just for the time. So thank you so much for that. We appreciated the opportunity. We appreciated the understanding of trying something new. But we are very honored with the support of Craig Adler and the Star Valley Ranch Volunteer Trail Crew, hopefully the Natural Resource Board, who believes in the same line of keeping our natural resource well in this area, to come and work directly with those two entities, with these two ambassadors for responsible recreation. Let me just very quickly introduce myself in case people are viewing online. So Jennifer Recupero, Partnership Manager at Friends of the Bridger Teton. I have been with the nonprofit for 3 years. We were established November of 2019. So we're a young organization and we are a staff of 5, of which 3 of us live in Pinedale, Wyoming, and our newest hire, Carly Eideker, our program manager, who will be managing 100% of this ambassador program for us this year, lives in Alpine. So we're very excited to have some Grays River, Lincoln County crew members out here. So just as an introduction there. So our total ask for transparency, $12,597. I could go over why the ambassador program is important, but what I think is probably better at this point is to say that these 2 ambassadors work 5 days a week. And they work the entire summer. I had checked in with the treasurer and the mayor and Frank and everyone what we should be proposing for, because we normally ask for fiscal year, but they thought the summer. So here I am. So if you're looking at things and you're questioning that, you'll see June, July, August, because that's when they'll be in the field with you all here in Star Valley Ranch specifically. Their main supervisor will be Craig Adler and the Natural Resource Board in connection. And of course, Craig is here today, as well as Chuck Butterfield, one of our board members. So I just welcome them in to comment as needed if there's anything I'm missing or they feel like is important. So these 2 ambassadors would be 100% promoting the responsible recreation of your resource here in Star Valley Ranch, the head of many of your trailheads. That's where the ask comes up for the boothing supplies, of which we do not have yet for this area. So that's approximately $2,600 worth of the grant ask is co-branded, multi-branded, canopy, stickers, rack cards, things like that. So anything that goes out to anyone. We'll also have the town of Star Valley Ranch, the Natural Resource Board if possible, and especially the Star Valley Ranch Volunteer Trail Crew.
Your boothing supplies, with the exception of the stickers and cards, who retains the ownership of those at the end of the grant?
That would be here, Star Valley Ranch, and anyone whose logo is on that would be able to share the usage of those.
Okay, so that then could bring up a storage issue.
We're hoping to, we're doing a lot with growing the program, and so sheds in each district area is something we're trying to work towards having. We don't have a secure location yet for it, but we're hoping that if this does get passed and these supplies are needed and do get passed with it, that we'll be able to work with Craig and the Natural Resource Board in the town to see if there would be a safe place to make it more accessible.
No, the NRB storage shed is pretty full.
Sure. Nope, thank you for speaking to, that would be the least of my worries coming in front of you today, just let me say that. But thank you for asking it. Now, in other places where we have ambassadors, they are able to be housed home-based in their RV or tents or whatever they want onto Forest Service land, which we discussed last year in terms of the Grover Park situation. Because Star Valley Ranch does not have an actual dispersed camping area or one that we'd be able to have an RV pulled into for these ambassadors that would be working all summer, I worked with a local woman, her name is Meredith, and she has given us a discounted quote of 2 sites, potentially at $650 a month for the entire June, July, August. I had reached out to Star Valley Ranch RV Park, and they do not rent for the season. So that was the problem. I had reached out to them first. We would love to keep everything as local as possible. And so this one woman, they would be able to have hookups and internet. So the safety of them would be set. I'm sorry,
No,
okay. all right.
that's
Amazing.
Meredy, that's Mattson?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, okay.
She was absolutely wonderful. Let me just speak to this real quickly. The outline any measures to be taken to foster education of responsible tourism related to this project or event. I just read it directly off there. At least one time a week, and probably more. Scheduled and arranged by the town's Natural Resource Board and Trails Committee Chairman Craig Hadler. These ambassadors will set up at trailheads and booth opportunities at local events that would include recreate responsible messaging and tools, Smoky Bear Woodsy Owl education, and help answer Star Valley Ranch area and Bridger Teton National Forest questions from visitors and locals. So what you don't see on this budget is how much FBT would be providing, but those are a couple of the things, like just the extra things. So Smoky Bear, Recreate Responsibly, all that stuff that would go out that is not a rack card that has some of it on it. That's a small bit, but it would be something that I just want to share with you. We are not, even though we're asking for what I'm considering 100% of the funding from you, it does not mean that we are not paying for a wonderful staff member's time who will be on top of it and right around the corner from you to be able to make sure this program works clearly and as you would want it to be, and that is needed in your area. So the beginning section on that budget sheet, if you can just take a peek at that real quickly, the top section is the per diem. This is what we pay our ambassadors per the government rate, which is, I think, $41 a day for Lincoln County area. We normally charge a 20% admin expense fee. My executive director has allowed me to make that 15%, so I just feel like, even though that's not that much, just want to make a note that we are understanding of that. The boothing supplies, and then RV sites, and then that's where our total ask comes from. And of course, we just appreciate just being able to stand in front of you and propose this new option as Friends of Bridger Teton continues to evolve. This is our first year that we are going to be hiring a development fundraising manager. So that means that that person would hopefully be raising the money to make this program fully funded by FBT in the future. That would be our hopes for every district. We do not count Jackson Hole in that because they provide about $600,000 to the ambassador program there for about 40 ambassadors. So just a consideration of a Nordic and summer season of 40. We do have intentions of not having you fund this forever, but we would love the option as we take this over. The overall chain of command would be the ambassadors would be reaching out to Craig and the Natural Resource Board. They would have the support of Carly from the FBT standpoint to make sure they're getting paid, which is really what this is all about. And then that's where, with the natural agreement already that Craig has with the forest, we'd be able to have these ambassadors do work that Craig sees valuable for the Star Valley Ranch area without having to wait on the forest every single time for an answer with that wonderful agreement. So this is building the capacity of these two groups, hopefully. And preventing wildfires, because hello, this is the year. I don't think I need to say it, of course, to be like, hopefully no one's out there making sparks, but
Don't jinx us.
no, of course, of
As soon as
course.
we start golfing, it'll rain, so.
Good, bring it on. Bring it on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer, I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Questions, comments from the board?
Do you have a split on that $12,597 ask, and how much of it is mitigation and how much is promotion? It shouldn't be more of the food supplies and that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, maybe I don't understand. Did you not have the budget sheet?
She's remote.
Oh, which you emailed, I think, Frank, you emailed everyone.
What she's referring to is the money can
The
be
breakdown.
spent 60, 30, 10.
Yes, yes.
So that's,
So the question is, the highest cost is your ambassadors. How would we split that money between mitigation and the other buckets, basically? So that's really what she's asking. Because again, some of it's promotion, some of it will be mitigation, but we could work with Craig if that makes better sense.
I might not have the answer because these are new people that we've never put out before. The intention is to, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna look at Craig right now, to be, and obviously Natural Resource Board, because these two people are basically getting paid by FBT to help support what you guys are already doing. That's so amazing in the
So
valley.
he'll dictate what that split is going to be based on what they do.
Of course, I mean, we're just, we're the ones that are gonna be doing all the fun financial work on the other side, which they don't wanna do. So, that would be the hopes.
You want me to answer that a little bit, maybe?
I'd
Well-
appreciate it.
Very quickly. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be doing both, but, I can, if we have a limitation that you're talking about on percentages, I can schedule it accordingly to make sure that we meet those percentages. Because, mitigation will be things like dirt bikes on the trails, no motor vehicles, leave no trace issues, fires that aren't getting put out, vandalism, all that kind of stuff is the kind of things that I'm gonna try to have them looking for. But then they're also gonna be doing things like the Friends Forts and being at the trailheads and just talking to hikers that come and talking about the forest and what not to do and do. And that would be more of a, not a mitigation, but more of an educational thing.
So is education part of mitigation? That's really what we
Yeah,
have to
so
determine.
we would have to just get together and decide, what you want to call it, and then I can make sure that they're doing what they need to do, because the Forest Service basically told me I could use them as long as I keep them informed. I'll send them pictures and reports on what I have them doing, but other than that.
Does that answer your question, Barb?
Last year, we based most of it on the mitigation bucket, and I think as much as we can stay within that bucket, the better.
I mean, the budget here looks like there is promotional items on the budget, so that's an easy call there, but the rest of it could be mitigation, okay.
So now this year, you're gonna be at the Star Valley Ranch and not doing Grover, so all of the efforts will be focused on the trailheads, the 3 canyons here. How far up the canyons do you go?
I anticipate sending them the entire 11 miles.
Awesome, yeah.
So.
But we have them 5 days a week, right?
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm
it's
saying,
gonna
5
be-
days.
Whoops.
Yeah.
My plan is like high volume days where the trailheads are slammed.
Yeah.
I'll have them at the trailheads just so they get
Awesome.
public contact and can talk to people about dogs, moose, deer, all that kind of stuff, and keeping people safe. And then on the days where they're working, where it's more off, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm gonna have them hike the trail up to Cedar Lake or over to Crater Murphy and just survey the trail for me.
Yeah.
Bring back photos, down trees, fire pits that aren't dispersed, and bring back pictures. And that way we can keep track of what's going on the trails. And that will help us figure out, okay, where do we have problems and where do we need to keep them doing their thing.
Right.
Like for instance, up on Crater Murphy Trail, I had a huge problem with dirt bikes last year.
Yeah.
And I know sort of when that was happening, so I would probably schedule these guys to go up there like at the end of the day, after kids get out of school, and I'd have them up there for a couple hours. So the fact that the Forest Service is letting us manage them, and I can be very targeted in how we use them instead of just sort of a piecemeal kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Right,
Yeah,
e-bikes.
Yeah, same thing with
the whole-
e-bikes, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Craig and I, thankfully, am very lucky to have a very good relationship with him as well, because we keep each other connected with things that happen on the national forest here in Star Valley, that ways that FBT could be stepping in to help out as much as possible, as well as improving communications with the national forest. So it's a very good relationship, and we've always wanted to know that we had someone to count on like Craig and the Natural Resource Board, because we have no doubt in our minds that this will be a successful program, and one that does not inhibit visitors and locals from having a wonderful visitor, having a good experience out in the national forest.
I think the other thing I would just jump in real quickly and add, and Craig and I haven't had a chance to connect on this yet, but Jennifer did include it in the grant, was the opportunity for some data collection. And that would be simple surveys that we're calling kind of the daily reports that the two ambassadors would fill out. Some of those questions could include, are you staying in Star Valley? Where did you go? And I think that data would be very valuable to you all to know at the end of the year. Are you getting folks who are staying here and using your trails, or are they coming from Jackson, or what does that look like? And while we don't want to overburden any ambassador and keep the focus away from the trails as a primary, I think we could also all know anytime you're having a visitor interaction, there's a chance for promotion and just to direct people to the local restaurants, to the local hotels, whatever that looks like. And we'd be happy to help Craig. Craig doesn't need any help in that respect, but if there's any support I can do in providing that information, we put it out there for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Board, back up here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Questions, comments from the board? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Move to approve this grant at full funding?
Yeah, this is the other half, basically. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Need a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve grant application from Friends of the Bridge, or Teton, for 2026 Ambassador Program in the amount of $12,567, is that $97? I'm surprised there's not a 50 cents in there.
No, I did round up.
Oh, thank you.
It came to like 52 cents, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be so angry if I do that.
Plumber gave me a bill for $3,000 and 50 cents the other day, and I had to ask him what the 50 cents was for. Anyway, we have a motion and a second for the grant application at full funding. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Understand. I will draft a memo to the town council based on our recommendations to them. Jennifer, the next town council meeting, at which time they will hear this, is the second Tuesday in April at 7 o'clock. We think that's the 14th, but
Okay.
it would require a calendar, but no, that's for sure. And at that time, the council will act accordingly.
It is the 14th.
Amazing.
Confirmed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item. Kirsten, why don't you come up and we added you to the agenda, as I said I would.
Well, and it is Debbie as well, so.
Okay. We don't have a lot of chairs around,
Oh,
but you
you're
can
fine. We can just stand to
kneel or
present so everybody
kneel
can
or
see.
lie down. Let me introduce, for those of you who don't know, Kirsten Merrill from the town council, and Debbie, who's been doing a little bit of work on our ranch market. And they wanted to talk just a little bit, because it's March, and it's time to start thinking about some of the things, but they wanted to talk about the ranch market just a little bit, so the floor is yours.
Start here. Okay, well, this will be our 4th year for our market, so it's very exciting. And, the previous years, I paid for quite a bit, and last year we had you guys pitching a lot, so we're very grateful for that. But we also saw the success of having the funds that way. So Debbie last year was her first year managing, and I saw the benefits also of having somebody who was actually hands-on, able to communicate with vendors daily or weekly and get everything going. So between her and I, we came up with a plan that she'll hand out to you as far as financial. At the top, you'll read that this was before we were going to submit a grant, but then after talking with Loretta, I think the process that we did last year is actually just as beneficial and probably the way we would go about it. So as expenses come, we pay them and then turn those receipts and invoices into Loretta and get payment through from you all that way. last year there was some confusion at the beginning of the year as far as who was gonna be funding. So, you know, we didn't promote the actual, board as much as we probably will this time. And if you wanna kinda go over what we have as far as expenses.
Oh, okay. So last year, seeing the difference from the years before, especially having me on there working with the different vendors and what stuff, and the little bit of marketing that I was able to do with Brolum's, with my own Instagram account and whatnot. I've also like to try to work this year with SBI Media, because then with me creating just an Instagram and also a Facebook post with, for just the ranch market, then when I'm working with SBI Media, you can see through the little things here that they'll be able to help manage and post things so we can reach a broader valley throughout, just through the valley from Afton to Alpine and even more possibly, which is about $250 a month, where we use it all 3 months or just use 1 month, you know, that's budgetary form, that's why we did this. We also want to get some more signage done. And for produce, I have listed down for $750 because we do have a new lady that's probably gonna do our old dog, she's from Old Dog Farm. She's probably gonna do 99.9%, I would say, that she's going to do the vegetables and stuff, but I wanted to put it in the budget because she's not gonna do corn. She's not gonna do potatoes, she's not gonna do, I think onions was one of them too, but last year you could see all the ladies and all the customers that would come every day to the market, you know, every Saturday, and they're so excited to see, you know, certain things of like we're coming in season. And Old Dog Farm, this is her first year that she's gonna be doing this, so I just wanna be able to have me be able to travel again like I did last year. Every week I've traveled to Idaho Falls, to Scorpies to pick up things for everybody. And possibly picnic tables to get 2 of them so we can have more people sit. They really enjoyed it last year when you brought yours from the house down, because that was kind of nice. Plus, you know, we're also thinking about getting someone to have live music down there, to have him play, you know, 2-3 hours each Saturday, plus maybe the kids from the dance market might want to come and do something like that. Also an alcohol license, possibly need that because one of our vendors does sell mead from the honey, and didn't know that, so might want to start doing that as well. And then paying for my thing, for me working with the vendors on a daily basis, weekly basis, the travel that I do, and the communication that I provide, and possibly helping out the produce manager, which would be the lady from Old Dog Farms, just to have her to get other vendors as well, you know, so she's gonna get Hatterley or something else that she may need. That's totally just, I wanted to put that out there just so we have that in the budget.
Is there revenue attached to this, or is it all expenditures?
All expenditures.
No revenue?
Well, we don't have anything to make revenue off of. Yeah.
The only thing we
Like-
had would, none.
Because the produce that was sold before, I initially funded it and then we just sold.
Right, I remember.
Yeah.
Just asking.
So, I mean, you know, if you guys have gear for us to promote, that might be some type of it, but charged. And
What do they usually charge like in Afton at markets for vendors?
It can be between probably around $35, $40. It just depends. Because they're having to rent, like in Afton, where they're renting the Lincoln County Fairgrounds. If I'm the organizer, I had to pay $6,000 or $1,000 to pay for that, then that's when you have to charge your vendors to do that. Where here, you're not charging us for the spots out here, and that's why the vendors loved it. I mean, we went from probably 4 to 6 vendors the first few years, up to 25 vendors I had up here. So, and it was really exciting. It was good to see all the people.
Is the produce $750, is that for a week?
No, that'd be the total.
That's the total cost
Yeah,
of the
because
produce.
going up
for
there,
all
you
the
spend,
13
yeah.
sessions.
And that would cover some of the corn, the potatoes, you know, because I'd probably go up, it was probably about $500 each week I would go
Yeah.
up and spend on veggies to bring back for everybody.
But then what happens to the money that you make on the produce that
then
you
you put it back in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I'm.
Yeah.
So
We
it
put
might be
back in,
a
it's
wash.
not- Well, that's the idea. We weren't looking to make money. It was
Yeah.
more just to benefit the community. So we sold it for whatever we bought it for, and I'll be
Yeah.
honest, there was times that the money was lost because, you know,
Oh, yeah.
if you had product that you bought that was a little spendier at times, as we were learning, certain people that we bought them from over in Idaho were more expensive, and then it's like to sell it at that was a little rough. So it was that, and then at the end, we do have a little bit of product left over. Now, last year we just put it, if there was, which there wasn't actually that much, but if there was, we would put it down in the blessing box for our little food bank for our town, so.
What are your expectations for today?
Well, any suggestions, of course.
Well, I guess my suggestion, we sort of made it our policy to kind of treat our grant applications in the same fashion. So I guess we'd be looking for a formal grant application from you
So,
at some future meeting.
after we spoke with Loretta, we decided actually not to apply for the actual grant.
Okay.
Just because of the way that it was funded last year,
Okay.
since it is a town actual thing, like the town is putting it on, it's not.
So
really-
the funding doesn't come from us?
It does,
Does
yeah.
come from us.
So obviously that would be something you guys would need to vote on, but as far as an application of grant, like, it's not like the HOA or any of these others, this is actually part of the town.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's the town applying.
Yeah, it
So
would
it's
seem a little
No,
repetitive,
yeah.
so we originally were thinking to do the grant, but then after talking with Loretta, like, that was a good point she made, that we should probably not be applying for our own money. But
Well-
it is through you guys, so that would be where you guys would vote. And primarily, we were also wanting some suggestions, if you guys had any ideas or thoughts.
Well, this is a huge jump in expenditures.
Yes,
And
well,
I guess one of the things I'd be looking for are some ways to trim it down a
Okay.
little, because the reality is, we don't have $15,000.
okay.
Yeah, I heard all the people before me. and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I mean,
boy."
it isn't- I mean, it's up to the council to decide. We can certainly take another grant application to the council, and they can decide that they're gonna say, somebody's gonna lose, just because somehow we've been discovered and now we get more. For 2 years, we went on, and nobody knew we were here, so we didn't spend any money. Now, apparently, we've been discovered, and everybody wants our money, so we're gonna have to figure out ways, to make it stretch. And, you know, the council may cut those applications that came in today. Just because we recommended full funding doesn't mean it's gonna happen. So you guys may,
So I think
Chop it
something for the tourism board to consider is you guys haven't paid for very many things for the town itself.
That's
And
true.
this is definitely one of them. And I shouldn't say paid for, I meant like the grants that were
Right, I
previously
get it.
approved. And so this is something
this is an
for our
important
town.
component of the town.
Yeah.
I get that.
And so if it is
And to
something.
the extent that we can, I think we'd like to contribute.
Yes.
So,
So as far as cutting down, the produce manager was something that we had kind of spoke about that we could, and that was $1,300, so we could possibly take that out. I think the music was huge the first year when I was paying for it. It was something that people really enjoyed. So I don't think.
well, I guess my hope, Kirsten, would be that maybe, let's see, the market starts in August?
July. We're gonna try to do the second week in July.
Okay. I'm thinking about our meeting schedule. So I can call a meeting anytime. We typically don't meet unless there's something to meet about. I don't like meetings where we just beat our gums. So I guess what I'd like to see you guys do is a scrub of this and see if you can get it down a little or some, to make it a little less painful.
Okay.
And maybe when it's ready, if you'll let me know that it's ready, I'll get the group together
Okay.
and we will get it to we'll do our thing and get it to the council as soon as practical.
Okay.
Might be their May meeting rather than their April meeting. I'll also tell the council that it's coming. Well, you already know it's coming. It's 3 of you were here. So you already know it's coming. But I think, you know, we'll let the council know that it's coming and that we want to do something for the ranch market. And we'll have the treasurer kind of go through our accounts a little bit and see where we are. We may be able to do a pretty good contribution.
Okay, and the contribution last year was awesome. Like, you guys did, I mean, you paid for Debbie, which was priceless in my opinion, because I can't do it all. So she was awesome at like setting up
If you want a
manage.
professional market, you need somebody to run it. so-
Totally, yeah, and so that was really great, and I feel like the turnout was a lot better too. You know, as far as revenue, I'm not really sure what the thought and idea would be behind that, but it would
I
definitely be
didn't
something
have
to
any ideas,
consider.
I just am used to.
Well, that's okay.
When you spent
That's how I
50,
feel. I
when you
don't-
spent 53 years dealing with budgets, you look at both the revenue side and the expenditure
Yes,
side.
well, definitely the revenue
It's
side.
ingrained in my head.
No, I understand that, but, I mean, if there was a way that wouldn't be too costly to the community too, I'm like on board with at least considering and looking at how that might benefit the market too.
Okay.
I think we're selling hats.
Yeah. maybe we
I know,
should-
well,
That's pretty-
that's what I
Exactly, there you
Yeah.
go.
So, if you could take a scrub with it, when it's ready, let me know, and I will call the group together, even if it's just for this,
Okay.
and we'll get it to the council. In the meantime, I'll get a better grasp of how much money we have
Okay.
and where it's going.
Well, don't give it all away before we have
Well,
a chance.
your point,
We won't be sad not to have a market.
Yeah, you
your
guys
point is
first.
well taken, because we have, in this year, which is the 250th anniversary of the country, we have some big grant applications, and I get it. They're probably won't be around next year. So sometimes, some of this is one-time stuff. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, and both of those were very important
Yeah, so
applications
we'll
too,
figure it out.
so, yeah, okay.
Okay, does that work for you guys?
Anybody,
Yes.
I just,
yeah.
maybe try communicating with the public about the picnic tables. Maybe somebody wants to donate a picnic table, you know, so that would save a little bit, you know?
I think that would be good. I don't know if there is.
Just throw it out there.
we can- The only problem would be, because is the town being, are we allowed, I don't think we can take a donation, can we? I don't know, actually, would be the only thing for the town. It's not for, I don't.
We-
I
we've
thought it
taken
was part of
donations.
their.
We've taken
We
donations.
take donations on, yeah, like the,
Okay, sorry, I wasn't
what do you
sure
call it, the
financially.
natural resource, there's an
Oh,
actual
so-
donation
Okay,
line. So
but
if
they're
you-
also separate, aren't they? 501c?
Well.
Yeah, so they are
The
separate.
NRB versus travel and tourism,
I think it's a great
so.
idea, and I am happy to do that.
I don't think it has the restrictions.
Okay,
But it
if you
takes
could do that,
cost
that
out
would
of
be
it, so, yeah,
terrific.
so I'll just also do the homework,
All right.
to make sure, but that's a great idea. Caleb, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just added your budget up, and I came up with 14,375 instead of the 15.
I saw that.
A slush fund.
But
I did it on my
think
Excel
that-
spreadsheet.
I think that, did you include?
I actually
Yeah.
came up with 15,225.
Ah,
So, and I did it 3 times, so.
well, I did mine too, so
My
I
goodness.
don't know where it is.
so
We gotta watch our
750,
numbers, guys.
1,800.
If
We'll
you'll-
scrub it down.
If you'll do a scrub, I'd appreciate it. Let us know when it's ready, and I'll get the group together.
That sounds
and we'll
great.
move on.
Love it.
Okay, thank you all.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks.
Gotta watch out for us numbers, guys. eh?
It's the first thing I do.
Next thing on the agenda is, I wanted to just let the board know that there is another grant program out there. It's a statewide grant program. They have $7 million. And it's for events surrounding the 250th anniversary of the country. And it's being handled through the state grants office in Cheyenne. I've been to a couple of meetings about it. Grants are available. It is a competitive grant process. They're getting a lot of applications from pretty much every town in Wyoming that wants to do a parade on the 4th of July. So I did not anticipate doing anything like that, but if somebody came to us with a 250th anniversary event of some kind, I would probably be inclined to refer them to the state program first, and then if they were not successful, they could come back here. Taylor?
Yeah, the town is putting in a grant to that money to develop the park over on the other side with murals,
Okay. Murals of what?
the history of the country.
All right. Whatever. But it is,
Yeah, our park.
my sense is it's highly competitive.
Okay.
Mark, do you have anything else?
On the grass.
I just have one question.
Barb?
No, let's have Taylor be on the.
Just for my own sake, why can't the Bridger Teton National, grant go through the Natural Resources Board instead of our board?
I suppose it could.
Because it seems more to me natural resources.
I know they
I don't know,
partner with
just
the Natural
saying.
Resources Board. I
Or
think
partner with.
my
them.
sense is the Resources Board keeps their funds pretty close to the vest.
Yeah, they raise all their own funds.
And my guess is they're not.
And I don't
Doesn't
think
it
it'd be,
seem
that
like it
wouldn't be
goes-
just here on the ranch. We have exclusivity for that ranch, whether the Natural Resources Board would allow that to just be the Star Valley Ranch, the trails here too, that's,
I guess the council could consider that.
yeah.
It's their board.
I don't know, when they were talking, I was thinking it seems so much more suited to that department.
There's crossover because at the vision level, we attract tourism to this area because we have this natural resource for outdoor recreation. And with that comes tourism impact.
Sure, but
Maybe
did
it's
they
a
throw a
shared.
number? Yeah, shared makes sense. Didn't they throw a number out? It was very little tourists going up the trails compared to locals? I thought I heard them say something about that.
There's quite a few locals around here that are tourists that
Yeah,
come here.
if I had a
but,
vote,
yeah.
I'd be voting, combining the two boards for that grant.
Well, you know,
But I'm not. So,
you can throw it out.
throwing it out there anyways, for the powers that
You
be.
planted the seed with the council. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if we're running
All
out
right,
of
anything
money-
else for the agenda? Barb?
So two more things, it's my two ads. So the first one is, I think we have discovered through today's discussion that there could be a good reason for the town of Star Valley Ranch to set up an ambassador program. So what I'm thinking is a group of maybe 12 volunteers, of which we do some little training on what we want the messaging to be, and they have the opportunity to be scheduled to go out in pairs or more to big events across the valley. Because I think what we've seen so far is that we're kind of isolated in the big picture of valley happenings. And in order to actually promote ourselves, it's going to take more than just our residents wearing hats. We need to get the hats and t-shirts and whatever they are going, out there so people can see it. And so the questions can be answered. And I don't know if that includes, adding occasionally a booth at the Afton County Fair or what it is, but it seems like, based on the fact that the Wall Heels is coming through here and there's a promotional effort attached to it, that there could be a squad of people from the town of Star Valley Ranch wearing our logoed merchandise to answer questions and, talk to people that have never really spent time in the valley.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that when they were presenting.
Who
If
would manage the program? Who would supervise it?
Good question, but it feels like it's aligned with tourism right now.
In terms of the wall remembrance, you have an awful lot of veterans living on the ranch that would be
Yeah.
interested in doing something like that.
There's a lot of things that they could help with. They could be helping with the ranch market. They could help us as a board canvass the community for ways that we could have more impact. They could, and even outside of the community, of things that as a town, we could be looking to for forward growth. And from a selfish, we're trying to merchandise, maybe a little more feedback and be the instant committee to get some help on pulling some of these ideas forward faster.
Okay.
Reporter must wait. the product sample.
What would you like to do next?
As far as product,
As far as the ambassador program, what are next steps?
well, I think we need to get ready to be a good support system for the Wall of Heels, for sure. Know what else we've got coming up before that, because that's, you know, by that time, we've actually got a head of steam running here with people on the ranch.
Yeah.
But it would be great for both us and even the association to be able to nurture and harness a stronger volunteerism as well as a bonded community, and you get that by doing things together.
Okay. What would you like to do next? I mean, what's the next step?
And maybe we solicit in the newsletter of the town saying that we're looking for volunteers to help us, you know, be able to staff some of these opportunities going forward to be, you know, promotional ambassador for the town of Star Valley Ranch. And we'll come up with what kind of things we want their messaging to be. Uniform we prefer them to wear when they're out and about, whatever it is, right? This is just throwing spade against the wall right now. I wanted to get it on the radar because I think if we don't do something like right now, we've really missed an opportunity to leverage our community in some ways that could have some impact and help us better spend our money.
Is there already a town booth at the Ranch Rendezvous
No,
regularly? Why not?
not that I'm aware of.
Well, they have the
All the
produce
times
that
I've
they
gone.
did, the produce deal, and they would hand out the bags and whatnot, because the town was doing all of the produce.
I mean, literally just taking one of these tables downstairs and having
Yeah.
somebody volunteer to man it and talk about the
A little
all
umbrella.
everything.
Exactly. Yeah, and
Or we could spend
perfect place to
$150 on
sell
the table.
hats. Or give them away.
We can ask questions of people there, right? So we can get some feedback.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's our recruiting pool right there.
Well, I'll volunteer for that promotional ambassador committee or whatever.
Careful, because since you volunteered, you're just now in charge of, you're the manager.
I'm used to
What was your
that.
other thing?
I was in education, private education, that's how it works.
You know how.
That's what I was looking for. Is it worth it for us? Is it worth, you know, just doubling down and see if we can get something to happen? It'll probably look pretty rough, but
Get it done, you know? That's what I
Okay.
had yesterday.
What was your other thing?
other thing was having to do with the presentations I've heard Star Valley Health present at the town and in SBI and the rest of the sources, and when we're talking about the fact that they've got a budget shortfall. I find it fascinating at the state of Wyoming level that we're doing so much to push for a greater contribution to GDP through the way of tourism, yet we're not actually putting a lot of attention on the fact that we're straining some of our services as we do so. In that particular case, and I don't know, because it doesn't seem like Star Valley Health has answers for a lot of things, but I would start asking them for demographic information of how many people they service are actually not residents of the valley. And through that, we would have some kind of information to feedback through the county and the state of Wyoming saying, hey, there is an impact here. If your way to close this thing is to, put a mill levy on everybody's property as a resident, perhaps that's not the best distribution of the impact, that maybe we should be using some of the tourism, lodging and tourism tax money collected at the state, county, whatever level to offset some of that expense. Because if we follow the track that other big tourism impacted areas like Jackson go through, when you've got people that, hopefully we train people to be out in the outdoor recreation areas, but the more people we have, the more instances that we need EMS. They're gonna exponentially probably go up. If Wyoming was to be able to follow their aspirational goals. And I just know that it's one thing to have the residents fund the EMS, but for a third of the year, those services will be strained by people that are not paying for it.
Well,
Example, if there's something going through the legislature right now in the state of Utah to actually address this. What they'll end up with, I don't know, but there are other states that are doing it too. So we wouldn't be, it's more rolling the idea upwards so that hopefully it gets traction where it needs to be, or at least we can keep putting it out there in the tourism conversations at the county level where they don't seem to want to talk about the actual impacts of the tourism on the infrastructure deficiencies that we already have.
okay, maybe I'll bring it up at the next county tourism meeting and see if anybody's thinking about it.
I mean, I forward you some articles and stuff, I can do that too, but it just seemed like, as a recommendation, our board would be the first group to raise the white flag for the town of Star Valley branch and go, look here, see something coming.
Well, I'm not sure our council wants us to do that, but it seems like it's beyond the scope of this committee, but let me talk to the county tourism people about it and see if thought's being given to, we're doing all this marketing and all of this promotion, and if we're not considering what impacts additional visitation has on county services, we ought to be. But I don't know.
When it rolls up that Wyoming high level, if they are indeed looking at revamping that statute that says our buckets are 60, 30, 10, maybe there's a carve out that actually helps this full valley address the EMS thing.
Maybe so, I don't know.
I can add 30 seconds if you want it.
Please.
The town currently pays $33,000 a year contract amount for EMS. We're never gonna have an EMS ambulance here staffed on the ranch, but it's between Thane and Alpine, and then you got one in Afton. The proposal from Star Valley Health is that we should have a mill levy ballot initiative, and that would cost the ranch, if it's 4 mills, that would be over $400,000 a year that would be placed on all of us as taxpayers, rather than the contract at $33,000. The argument is Alpine and Thane haven't put anything into this yet. If they need to renegotiate, Star Valley Health needs to go to Thane and Alpine because they have the income coming from sales tax because they have commercial properties. We don't. And we're not going to get any better service at all here on the Star Valley Ranch. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be the same place that it is today. So
They just want us to pay for it.
that's the conversation. And the state put $50 million into an escrow account that for rural EMS, and they're going to hold it in escrow for 5 years. So if you don't like it, contact your congressman and your state reps and say that doesn't make sense. But mill levy is not the way to go. For us here in the ranch, it's just going to cost us all more. And it's a sensitive topic because we want to have ambulance service. But be careful, because it's a much higher, for no better service, we're going to be paying and covering the 2 towns that have commercial property. So, just FYI, that's my 30 seconds, sorry.
Thank you.
For reference, I called an ambulance last week to my house. It took about 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah, that's what they.
Never gonna change.
Yeah.
Well, you're not the only one who's been sick.
I was too sick to pick up the phone. Okay, anybody got anything else for the good of the order?
No.
I pronounce this adjourned by unanimous consent.
That's good though.
Again, you were sick too.
Shingles.
Shingles, oh, what fun.
Yeah, that did
Well, you know,
no
I
idea.
live until you said that.
Yeah.
You weren't vaccinated?
No, I gave notes. I had a chickenpox vaccination when I was a kid, but,
Oh, this guy, shingles.
had no idea that, you could get a discount for them.
Yeah, chicken